Hi guys, welcome back to another Mank Buses Gold Miniature. So, the railway front, bit of an update on that. Yeah, it's going okay. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of the wiring. The screws I've got to fix this are crap. Extremely crap. But they should do the job. So, what I'm fixing is the Train-Tech PC2. It's a point decoder from the DCC. Whilst I'm dropping all the screws, that is. Right, well they aren't going on there, are they? Better for a point motor than this. But it turns out they're fine for this as well. Let's hope that stays up there. It's got to stay up there for longer than the 2 minutes the other one did. So the point motors on this board, I don't know if you remember, I've already been fitted. So all it is getting power to them and control, which is what this will do essentially. Screwdriver is junk. It's not junk, it's just not good for them. But I don't have one that's in between these. It is quite difficult to work like this, because you lose like your circulation in your hands doing it. Right, so that's in place. So that now just requires track power, which we can sort out from the riffraff that's behind. Although I believe this here is track power. So technically speaking, this is track power here as well. But it's just all a mess. And Sean came over last night. He's going to help sort the wiring out because it was doing his heading in. And to be fair, it does my heading in. I've not shown you the wiring on the other side yet properly, but we'll touch base on that in a minute because we've got a story about that side. So this side is just hell. We have a few openings to take wires through, but for some reason they've not been used. So this green here is track power and this pink is track power. Now that green buggers off to over here, as does this green, which turns to white, comes over here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this gaffer tape off for a start. Oh no, it's got accessories in here and all. This is an accessory here, but I don't think it's actually on the gaffer tape. No, it's not. Yeah, but it's just the wiring's just a mess. It's not very forthcoming. So I think that's, see, this is a track connection for accessories, but instead of being insulated, it's just hidden underneath, and then we've got this dropping off it here, which is not ideal. But I want these wires, because these are my track power. Oh, I dread to think. See, then it goes into just 2 white wires here. Well, what is that about? That's because in here they're all going to be bundled together to make the 2, and then come out there. So I could just stick that in there, which at the moment is looking like the easiest option out of all of it. Put that gaffer tape back there. Well, about there. I took that off there temporarily. Stuck that on there. Right. And then if I strip these 2, put them in there, that should power that up. Should. I'll get my trusty wire clippers. I know the nail clippers, but you know. Pull that. Oops, cut it. Pull that. Right, so next we need flathead. And my multimeter. So I'm just going to check that these aren't the same sides, because on this layout that really wouldn't surprise me. But we have got 2 sides of the rail going in here, so they should be opposites. Yeah, they were. I just thought that on the meter. Right, so these need to go into here. I don't think I'm in there. Oh, it could be. Yeah, I'm in. Am I going to be in good enough with that one for that one to clamp? Yeah. Right, so they're all lit up. No idea what that means. Really need to read the instructions. Oh, hey ho, right. So, with all them connected up now, we need to trace. So that's track power. That's track power. So that's, I think they're negatives. He's cut the power right to these motors, right on him. So we've got one throw there, one there, don't know how I'm going to get that one. One there, one there, one there, one there, and this side, not a clue. Not a foggiest on that one. We have got some good motors here, so I might just put them two into this and do the ones I can with this, and then when Sean comes and helps and tidies the wiring up, he's also got a better soldering iron than I've got, so we should be able to readjust these to make these better, because that negative actually goes through the wood there and comes out here. So he's tied all these negatives together, which is good. The problem is he's cut these really close. So I might be able to save that one. Might be able to. Let's get these two in. At least then we've got two in. So these two will be nice and easy. We can just take them out of the staples they've used. Find a hole and shove them through. So the hole is actually here. So I'm actually going to take these all the way back. We're stuck under the staple. It's not an advised way of securing wires with a staple, if I'm honest. I used to do it myself, but what you'll find is a lot of the time you go through the wire. So them three, we may have to do one at a time here to get them through. Yeah, we are. So this yellow one, stick that through. That's with that red one. What we'll do is we'll put these two in so they don't get muddled up. So I need to cut the end of these slightly. Weird cable. That's that end off. When me and Sean finalise everything on here, he will more than likely cut all these wires perfectly to length. Because at the end of the day, when and if I came to sell this, I probably would just sell it as a complete unit. So all the electrics and everything with it. Because there's no point, unless the layout's like half built, there's no point taking it out. You see, just over there, you've got another electrical connection point for the track, because that went off and did other things. So I'm presuming that's one. I'm going to put a beam, by the way, across here. There is going to be a beam there. So this, because this is just supported over your head at the moment with a bit of really shit beamage. So that's going to be tidied up so it looks nice and neat, and this will sit perfectly on. So that's not going to have movement in it by the time I've finished with it. Right, so that's them two done. The ground is here. Drop that on the face. The ground is there. Just trying to think of the easiest way. That's a bit, to me that's a bit close, but I don't want to cut that off, because if I cut that off, soldering onto up here is going to be a net pain in the arse, quite frankly. So I think I'm going to have to strip that and then I'll connect that up like that. Right, this yellow one go through. This red one to go through. Right there, both stripped out. Let me cycle that under everything. Into channel 2. So this one will do 4 points. Don't know if this is going to struggle because it does lack a capacitor discharger. It might have one on the circuit board. Might be in there. I've not actually looked. I've used these ones before, and if I remember rightly, they worked perfectly fine without the capacitor discharger. So it should work still just as fine. It'll work even better if I manage to get the wire in the hole. It's one of the issues of working upside down. It's not really being able to see what you're doing when you're working with terminal blocks. So each of these have each throw and a COM port, but because the COMs are linked, we should get away with just using one COM port, and then they all should work perfectly fine. So this is where the surgery will begin again. I'm doing plenty of surgery on this layout. Right, that one there. Technically speaking, if I had all the wires, I probably could get most of these connected up on this 4-channel, because I do believe these can throw 2-point motors at once, and a lot of the points are interlocking. I'll show you the top board and I'll show you what I mean, but a lot of them are interlocking, so you just wire them opposites because you wouldn't want a point facing into a dead point. As per. So, right, I need a bit of black wire and to get off my bottom. Oh. Lucas said is like this point and this point. Well, you either always want them both to face like that, or you'd want them like that, because you don't want that point trailing into this point, which is dead. So that takes up like 1 channel. Then this is a channel each. This is a channel. Them two are 1 channel, and that point doesn't exist because it's going. But you see what I mean? So that would be 1 channel, because you always want them facing the same way. Same with these two. You always want these facing the same way for travel. You wouldn't want them opposite-ating, because that's a new word I've just come up with, because it wouldn't make any sense. Right. So let me put you down here. So I've put you in the canal. We'll have a look and see if anything works. So, accessory control. So I'll take you through this process. So we've set it up, we've got the 4 LEDs on. Set your controller DC accessories, yep. Choose point 1, right. Press the learn button once, all 4 LEDs will flash, and then send either the flick or flick to your thing. So we shouldn't even have to come into this mode actually. Accessory control. Accessory. and do then, so they're all flashing, and then send. I heard a point motor. Alright, stop flashing. Output is 0.1 now, set to the address EG automatically to 261. So yeah, so we've done 100 to 104. We'll do routes at some point. We may have a play with it, because we could do routes here, and have one on each outputs. But let's see if they work. So we should have 1 and 2 set up. So let's have a butchers here which points we've actually managed to connect up. So no idea which point that is. I don't know. I can't see. I can't spot a difference. Right, let's try 101. Oh, 101's down here. $101 is this point here, the point we don't use, because we can't get to there yet. So accessory 100. That's stuck, whichever one that is, it's stuck. Right, point 1 is this one, but it's struggling to go the other direction, so we need to just have a, there's nothing to say why it should be struggling. If I do, even though that's normal apparently, yeah, that doesn't work that way around. I can't even see it trying to move it, to be honest. Set the capacitor charge up a little bit. Yeah, no, that's not even trying. But it could be a number of things that. I do have this rail here to fix. Might have to put a bit of, because that just comes out. He's added an isolation point here for some reason, but obviously somehow that's come up and doesn't want to go back down. I'm not going to be able to get a fish plate on that, so I think a bit of solder is the only way I'm going to fix that. So we'll give it a go. Sean did the last lot of soldering, but we'll give it a go. So we've managed to wire up this point over here and this point. So we've got 2 more, so hopefully we can get that one and that one done, and then we can use this area free reign pretty much. I do have some track work to do all up there, which I might try and get done today, hopefully. God, that's dirty there. Let me just grab a track rubber 1 minute. I didn't want to work down there. God, that's filthy. To be fair, oh, and he's broke that rail as well, so that needs soldering in there. Right, okay. So I've got some surgery to do on this board here isn't really a problem. I just would love to know why that doesn't like to go, because it's quite free moving, unless there's just not enough oomph in try and solder this down, solder that down, and then go from there, I reckon. And we'll try not burn anything in the process. So I'll be back with you once this soldering iron has got up to temperature, which will take about 3 weeks. Right, so we should be up to temperature. I'm going to turn the track power off. So that will kill that. Right. I'm also then going to use something heavy, like the drill, to hold that rail down. And hopefully, might have to push on the track as well. Won't be the prettiest, really, as long as trains run over it, it'll be fine. Oh, my rail's slightly twisted. Meh. Really need a proper stand for that. Wagon. Not great. Well, we'll try it with a loco in a minute. We'll run the loco around and see how it goes. I'm just going to get this one down as well and soldered together up there. That one's going to be a lot harder because it's with the hand I don't use. Put my extension lead up there. Let's just try and get this one as well. So get as much solder in the area as possible. There's a bit of solder in that area now. It's not sticking. The solder's more stuck to the sleeper than anything. Rail's hot, very hot. Just want to stick, man. think, hold it, let me just grab a screwdriver. It's really not the best. It's holding though. Right, so we want to just gently go over that because that's got a bit of solder on it. Save that one there. Roll that, make it fresh. Right. Stick track power back on. It's not gone kaboom. Let's see if I stop it, done it. I'll just let that roll away then. So that's done that. So that's not connected yet and that's not connected yet. So let's see if we can go into that siding or that bay platform. We may struggle here with a bit of dirty track on the tunnel entrance. Here we are. Yeah, and all the way down. Let's just clean that up, shall we? Let's just clean this bit up here behind you. So we need to try and get this all as clean as possible. Which with a rubber this size and end scale is a lot harder than you would think. Because the rubber is the size of the lane. I can feel the dirt. Alright. Let's give that a go. I'm presuming my train is stuck in the tunnel. Yeah, right on the end of the track. It's coming, it's coming. I say it's coming. Yeah, so yeah, a bit more rubbing, a bit more cleaning, and that will sort that out. So let's try going into this now, this newly repaired area again. I'm just going to clean the track up first before I do it. So we'll go across now. Odd, very dirty track. So we should be able to do accessories 101. It's not 101. Need to name them. always worked here. Reversed is that way, right? So we should be able to go across them points because they were clean. I've actually run trains up and down there. I think there's going to be a problem just over here because there's an isolation point there. And there's one on this track as well. And then the engine shed is glued down. So we'll just hope that all that works. Let's give it a go. So which way facing? Panel drive. That's lost all signal, all connection there. Is it that one? Right, so there's an isolation point here that's been cut up. As you can see, if I do it there, there you go, it comes to life. So it's a good mixture of really dirty track and bad connections here. Right, so a bit of testing there was mixed. Some of it will be dirty wheels, some of it dirty track, and whatever. I have found my other track rubber here, which is a much better track rubber, a bit smaller as well. So this section has changed. You will see a very clear repair. Now, what's happened, we believe, is the original owner of this wanted to use these points. If you remember, this one was soldered, that was soldered. I think that was soldered anyway. This definitely was, and this one was. Now these are electrofrog points, which if I remember, I'll put something up on the screen of electrofrog points and how they work, and the differences between these, which are isolated points. So to use it, you'd put isolated points in. Now at some point there was point motors here, because everything else had a point motor hole, and there was holes around here where point motors looked like they would have existed. But these didn't have them in, and the holes weren't there. So this one, Sean managed to drill the hole up, and we managed to get it. It has recently just stopped working again, but that'll be something underneath that's problematic because the wiring is a nightmare. That we just pushed the track up, we've repaired the track, not a problem. Train runs perfectly fine. These ones we drilled like we did with that one, the pilot hole down to say where it was going to be, and then it all went wrong. Pushed the track up, completely destroyed this the arm, so we had to then peel this up, repair it, resolder it, rematch it back up, and put it all back down. It all works now, and these two are point motored. The wires for the motors are here. Let me see, let me just set you up and I'll show you. So if I set you up there, so these are, I don't know what wires are what here. Because I've got 4 wires, none of them are marked. And obviously the capacitor discharge unit dies out after a while. not that one. That one didn't do anything. That one didn't do anything. That one tried. Again, they do work, it's just... So there's one. I think that was the other one, wasn't it, to that one? I think, I'm not too sure. Right, so it's that one and that one together. Yeah, but the capacitor discharger is really slow at charging up. So that's them two together. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wrap these up like that. Post them over there now. So them two are the pair. And then these two are for the other motor. Oh, they should be. Again, this motor's playing up a little bit. See, that one goes that way. Give it a minute. Yeah, it's just trial and error. Me and Sean will get them working flawlessly without any problems. It's just a case of getting there. There's a lot of unprotected solder joints underneath, which is what causes some of the problems. Don't worry about these lights, these have to come out anyway. This yard light needs to come out. We've got a spare board down there, but I don't really want to pull things off that. I'm debating what to do with it, to be honest. We'll decide at some point. The other point that is motorised is this one here, which that one is, yeah. I think that wire's come off that one, which is why that one doesn't work. Again, Sean and myself, we're going to work on this wiring, because if we actually take a peer underneath, this is the wiring that is under here, and as you can see, it's a rat's nest. It's a lot of carnage. This is all the point motor wiring here. So as you can see, and I'm sure you appreciate, there's a lot of carnage. Even the track bus power is the same. It's not too bad on this board because there's not much going on, but it's still pretty chaotic. Just the full length of it really. So we do have a little bit of work to do with that side of things, but Sean loves his little wiring project, so he's offered to come do it, so surely we'll film him doing that and I will help out doing that. None of this down here, I believe, is actually really connected up now, so all that can go. And then we just need to do our boards across here, which I do technically have two boards, but they're just not big, they're too big. So we'll sort that out at some point. Like I say, this is then, I'm gonna sort this out, put the beam across there, so then that's fully in, because I don't think I've got a beam I've got a beam under there, but I don't think it's the right size. It's just under there. So then it's like all the little finer details of things to work out. Once we've got trains running around nice and smoothly, perfectly fine, then we can work on doing other little bits and bobs. But whilst I'm sort of waiting for them boards to do, I can work on that. But a lot of it's getting the power down, getting the track sorted out and what have you. So yeah, that's where we're up to. Oh, like I say, I'm going to look at doing this, but I've just realised I've only got one size radius of curve. So unless I manually do it by hand with FlexiTrack, that's going to be difficult. As well as, I have no light. I do need to get, I think I've got an LED strip somewhere, but if I remember rightly, these are 24 volt strips. So they're quite powerful strips. So, but I possibly could get these. If I work it out, I could probably get them a little bit further along. In fact, let me just give that a go. Up there like that. Oh, because we've got a little bit there. Give me a little bit here. Need to wiggle that through. A little bit there. A little bit there. Could do with a better way of supporting these in place. I've probably got a few more nails that I could probably stick in. That one there. I think if we anchor this one over here just out of sight, there's one. Here. So this is the bit we have a light on. I'm trying to not crush anything. It's quite difficult. So the track condition's not bad. And I have cleaned some of this. I'm not a fan of this here though. I don't know what went there. There was obviously something there at one point. These two sidings here I can't get to because the points are soldered shut. Does this come off? I reckon we might be able to get a station light in there with a little bit of twiggling. A bit of damage to repair here. And then we need to find a way for it to work its way into this. I'm not too sure on that one, however. But I'm sure we'll figure something out. Let me just make this taller like that. So, obviously the plan is that this rail here is going to come off here, come round here, and run down into the other board. I've got some track work to do on the other board to make that happen, and then these will be the two lines. This line has not really been tested at all because that's the only line with a connection down to there, so why would I mess about with this one, that one? I know it does work. I have had a train running on it, so it does work. It's just a case of getting it down there. But this board, like the others, needs a little bit of TLC in order to get it to work. I will make it very, very clear. This section here that looks really how are you doing, it will remain on how are you doing. my little plan is to build a little tunnel there, a tunnel on that side, and then that's hidden away. Because of the height differences, there's not really too much I can do about it, unfortunately. Unless Sean comes up with an idea, there's not much I can do with this area because it's just where the boards unfortunately join. We'll make it look as nice as possible. I might put a basic garden scene if I don't do the tunnels, you know, like a bit through the countryside. But these are, they are flimsy. They're not there really to help support anything. They are just flimsy boards. Even the board that you're now sat on needs sort of putting in here properly. I need to run an extra support out for it to enable it to sit, because for some reason this board, take you off. So this board for some reason sits at an angle. Now this is straight. That is pretty much straight. It's at a 90-degree angle under there. So this should be at a 90-degree angle, but it isn't. So this board makes this one stick out a little bit. So as you see, it moves away from the edge. Now, might have ways of dealing with it, like moving this, putting that on that side, or taking this up, then putting another frame underneath for this to sit on, and then building something there. But the height difference here is the problematic thing, because I believe the height difference from this board down to there is quite a bit. I can show that if I put this coach on this track. So I've not pushed it. So you see the downhill problem. Now me and Sean could between us solve that. If we hire this up, well not this, but this one and that one up, make that perfectly level. And this one might be able to hire up a little bit, which means then this won't have to be a hill, and then that can be a proper scenic board. But I'm going to discuss with Sean, because Sean's my go-to for this, for the woodwork sort of stuff with this. I've put this basic frame in. This frame is level as can be. The problem with it is this board is a thicker board than that one. Now the other option that we could do is the difference that it is thicker. We could groove out of here and have that then slot into this, which would be a very unique way of doing it, but also would mean, because this is up against the wall, all the boards have to come back out, which is not ideal. So what's more likely to happen is somewhere around here there is a support going out that way. We'll raise that up. The support here that goes out that way, raise that one up, and then these two supports here, as you can see I've already slightly raised it up, raise that up and then raise it up there as well, and then that will hopefully level the board out. The way these are, I could level it here and that could just float, because as long as this one is connected to the board, connected to the frame, then it won't go anywhere. So there is little bits of work to do. You might think, well, why haven't you levelled it before you wired it? Well, that's because we needed to test it to see what was working. Plus, it's only a little bit out. And the way it is, you could literally just lift it like that. Two people together. You could chock it up slowly, then put a little metal bracket from here to here, just screwing it in, and that will hold it in place. Not a problem. Like I say, that wall should hold it, because that's 3 inches down. That's 3.25 inches. But obviously this board is lower than that board. And then this board is lower than that board. So that board has sort of set the height for everything, because of how it's been done. So that's where we're going with this. And then hopefully it'll all be at the same level, which will be alright, because the size of this has just been plonked up here, literally. So we could get this to that level. I've got wood still downstairs, I've got a bit under there. We could build the frame and get that up a little bit more. The only problem with that is the size of that board. There is nowhere to physically put it whilst we do it. So it's something that we'd have to sort of like do, put one half up, then put the other half up and do it like that. Because moving this board and disconnecting it is not a problem. This board is connected by 4 wires, just 4, 2 3.3 volts and 2 track powers. That's it. Because all these lights run off 3.3 volts, which is ran off the computer power supply down there. I'll talk through how you do that another time, and that saves you a bit of hassle as well. But for now, I'm going to say ta-ra. If you've liked what you've seen, please do subscribe. If you've headed over from Manc Buses, thank you very much. If you haven't heard of Manc Buses, wait for the end screen and go and check us out over there, where we own a 1998 Dennis Dart, and me and Sean work on that as well. This is predominantly my project. Sean's got his own, but we do help each other out, work together. We have similar interests, and that's the way we go. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you can help that goal, please do, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Manc was a gold's miniature, down in scale, little trains, lots of fun.